Hi everyone. So we have Global Finance Enablement Leader for Nielsen IQ, Mr. Chris Gunning here with us today. He's going to share his experience, one of the experts. You talk to any GCC, you go to any forum, the one person who is known to everyone is sitting next to me, Mr. Chris Gunning. So let's start with your quick intro, more of authentic intro.
Cool. Well, Shami, look, absolutely delighted to be here with you today in India as well. I know we spent a lot of time talking over Teams, but I think it's wonderful to be here actually physically in India today in the beautiful city of Pune. Love the introduction, Shami. Thank you so much. So my name is indeed Chris Gunning, currently the Global Finance Operations Enablement Lead here at NIQ. I've got a funny accent, so I'm actually from the north of Ireland originally. I'm from Belfast. I grew up in Belfast, but really over the last 25 years, I've been living in Amsterdam in the Netherlands with my family, my wife Claire, and my three kids, Cara, Keelan, and Riley. Really, I am a chartered accountant, like many of the guests who come on your show, Shami. Look, I am a CPA. I'm a chartered accountant from the Institute of Ireland back in the day. And after a stint and after a period of working in external audit with KPMG, I moved to an American technology company, which really ignited my love for travel. I actually moved into a role in internal audit and really spent the next 4 to 5 years traveling the world. A month in France, a month in Germany, and a month in Spain, before they eventually made me the internal audit leader of Latin America. So I did the same. I didn't have a home. I had a laptop and an Amex card for really 2 years and worked in amazing countries like Brazil and Argentina and Chile. And that's when I first discovered shared services. And really for the last 25 years, my work life has been devoted to building, designing, and growing and running shared service centers, global business centers, global capability centers as the world keeps evolving. I've done it across a number of industries, including tech, including telco, including manufacturing and brewing, and most recently now in consumer data here at NIQ, an amazing company focused on consumer intelligence, really serving the world of retail and CPG. So yeah, that's a little bit about me, growing up in Ireland and really having traveled the world designing, building and running shared service centers for 25 years.
What do you do when you're not in office?
Ooh, that's a good point. I have a couple of passions. Probably, I always tell people I've probably got 3 things, apart from spending time with my kids. Massive sports fan. So tonight I'm going to be watching a rugby game at 12:30 in the morning in my hotel room, hopefully. So I follow a lot of soccer and rugby. Very passionate about music, particularly heavy metal and rock. So I go to a lot of concerts, I collect a lot of vinyl. And really the third thing that I'm passionate about is craft beer. Not just drinking it, but reading about the history, understanding the brewers, and really enjoying the art and the passion of the craft. I used to brew myself. I've invested in little breweries over the years. And actually here in Pune, I'm not sure if you know, Sammy, we have an amazing craft brewing industry. I know most of the head brewers here now in Pune. So maybe one of these days after a podcast, we'll get out for a beer.
Yeah, we need to do that. There would be a lot of beer fans around us.
Absolutely.
And the people in Pune love it. So, okay, you have worked across multiple cultures and countries. How did it shape your leadership style? I mean, how did you get influenced with looking at these people around the world?
Look, I think that's a great question. So even from a young age as a kid, I enjoyed traveling. I enjoyed learning about different cultures. I think even at one stage, I almost dropped out of university and decided to give up an accountancy and become a social anthropologist to study cultures. Thankfully, my dad probably brought me back in and said, and I've been able to combine the love of both traveling and finance. I just love getting out there and understanding. Here in India, for example, I love understanding the cultures, the histories, the tradition, the food. I think it's just spending time connecting with people. It always comes back, how you can connect and interact with people outside of the office, and you can bring what you learn from those cultures, those traditions to inside of the office. Now, even 20 years ago, before I started coming to India, I probably knew nothing about cricket. Now I'm a massive IPL fan, and all the guys on the floor love me when I talk about cricket. But also similarly, when you go to Brazil, if you're able to talk about football, things like that have really helped shape my culture. Now, obviously, dealing with different cultures, there's different ways of working. Sometimes you've got to tone it up, sometimes you've got to tone it down. And you are right, different cultures have different styles within the office. But it's something, I've been lucky enough in my career, and particularly in my career in internal audit, where I worked in over 50 different countries across those 4 to 5 years in internal audit, as well as my shared services experience. Pretty much every corner of the globe I've been lucky enough and just really dealing and interacting with people. But at the end of the day, Shami, we're all people, we're all human beings. So, I think if you're able to just connect and treat people like a human being, you're going to succeed in business.
Yeah, and it literally works like a bridge for connecting to the people when you have the common interest and when you know what exactly they love to talk about, and you learn a lot. I mean, that's my personal experience as well. When you travel to these countries, work with these different people, there's always something good to learn from. There's always something to take in as your own aspiration. I mean, that's needed to keep moving in the life. So that's really important.
Never stand still, as I always say. Keep moving, keep being curious.
Change is constant, yeah. So, okay, next thing coming to my mind is you might have a lot of challenges. Of course, when we look at you now, you have a lot of good memories, a lot of these achievements which you have done, a lot of things you have achieved during this career in different roles, different countries, different industries, very complex environment sometimes. What are some of the challenges you feel like, oh, this one I can never forget, which you conquered already? I mean, you started as a challenge, but then you...
But I still wake up in cold sweats when it comes to Brazil payroll. I will pretty much do anything again in my career. I will never touch Brazil payroll, given the complexity of every state, every city. That's the one I have cold sweats about. But seriously, I mean, I think, there's as McKinsey say, 70% of all projects fail because of lack of change management. And it happens in GBS journeys, it happens in shared services journeys. Whether it's a technology implementation that didn't go right because we didn't put the right level of effort in training, in change management, and we maybe over-relied on the tech too much, or we really just didn't do enough project planning at the start of the project. You learn from these, you get over these from the lessons learned, and you apply them to your next projects or your next transformations or your next journeys. And I think, to me, focusing on change management and focusing on the people is something that you always got to have the forefront of everything that you do when it comes to shared services and transformation. So things, and expect the unexpected. You may be going down one path, and all of a sudden, for whatever reason, is it a change of CEO or CFO? Is it COVID sitting? Sometimes you just got to pivot. And I think being resilient and being able to bounce back, and being able to adapt and be flexible. I always say to all my peers and friends within the GBS industry, flexibility and agility is so important to us as leaders, and the ability to adapt given unexpected changes.
Yeah, and everybody talks about having a global market or going global, or, doing things at a larger scale, consolidating in a GCC or GBS, all of this stuff. Do you have a real example where you've seen global perspective, having a global perspective really helping a local problem, which we could not solve without having that perspective?
Yeah. Look, I think everybody likes to think of themselves as unique. We're all unique. We're different. Italians, statutory. We are very different. We've heard it over the course of our careers. But I think, in reality, showing that we've been able to do it, and a lot of this is about bringing other teams, other countries, other people along the way. If you can show examples of where you've not been able to do it in another complex country, nobody's that unique. At the end of the day, whether it's paying an invoice or booking an accounting entry or collecting cash, it can be done in a centralized environment. So I think it's a lot about not giving up, being resilient, and really showing other local teams that we can be here, we can support you, we can speak your local languages if required.